Well, it looks like TMZ went pretty low with the Diddy trial, bringing up style in court.
You're
The
telling me TMZ got
prosecutors-
petty?
We have them.
What?
Yes, exactly.
Water still wet.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us why.
It's because they want to let you know that the prosecutors dress well, but they're less fashionable.
Yeah, I
Diddy's
saw
side.
this yesterday and I was like, are we really already going to go there? Like, are we so starved for things to talk about with the Diddy trial, which I don't feel like we are?
No.
But we're already at a place where we're like, let's compare the fashion sense of the different attorneys. I kind of feel like that's antithetical to the narrative of this particular trial. But nevertheless, here we are.
Yeah, there we are.
And I feel like it's only going to go downhill for the next 8 weeks. But
yes, jury not sequestered, and they are picking the jury right now. They added 16 more people yesterday to the pool, which brings us to 32 to pick from so far. So we will know.
It's been eye-opening to read about the different things that have determined like which jurors stay, which jurors go. Just you are reminded of just what an amazing, and I don't want to get too like Pollyannish, but what an amazing system we have where like this is just people like you and me who are going to be tasked with doing something very important. But at the end of the day, these are people just like you and me. So people who have scheduling conflicts, people who have biases, people who are just like, yeah, I don't think I can be biased or unbiased in my opinions about this particular case.
Yeah. So I mean, if you didn't want to do it, that would be the first thing to say. I can't be unbiased. So it's amazing to me how I know that this is the job that we do, but how people wouldn't have heard about it. And it's okay if they've heard about it. It's just that they sort of pick their brain about what their, like you said, biases are, if they have any.
Yeah.
So and just the celebrities, like the people that have been brought up, like, oh, are you familiar with this individual or anything that they've done? And it's just like, wow, there's a lot of people that are saying no to these questions that
you're like,
reminds us not everyone's in the weeds that we are in always.
Yes.
No, but I guarantee a lot of us are in the weeds. And that's why you guys love listening to us. And we'll certainly keep you up to date on what the blinds have to say about any of this. I will say the blinds have been relatively quiet around this subject, haven't they been, Mike?
They've been extremely quiet,
which is interesting, right?
Well, it almost plays into the idea that, blind items are usually created when there's a lack of information, and we're just led to try to connect the little dots that we have. Right now, we've got all the information when it comes to Diddy, and we're getting all the information, so probably less in the blinds.
I will say the one thing I'm curious about in terms of the blinds, and I had a friend say this yesterday, is like, I want to see who's going to get called. And by that, they meant celebrities. And I was like, well, you got to believe that those celebrities have worked real hard to not be on those lists of witnesses. So it'll be interesting to see. And I wonder if the blinds will have any indication of who ultimately from those A-list witnesses gets called and put on the witness stand.
I predict that Terrence Howard is going to be called because he's been doing a lot of stories about how wanting to make sure that everyone knows a little bit here, a little bit there, that he is absolutely not gay. I mean, there have been like 4 in the last month. And I'm like, what's going on?
Think that he's trying to cover something up or something?
I think so. I think he's really nervous about some things that might come out. He might not be called, but maybe he will be named in the case. I don't know.
A lot of people
talking.
talking.
A lot of celebrities worried right now.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find anything in the blind items about Diddy. Maybe the other really big story from the last couple of days has been the Met Gala. We'll take a little trip back there to start things off today. Be sure to like and subscribe, by the way. Hit that notification bell. You get notified when we go live with our premiere, which is, would you say, 4 p.m. Central Time?
Yeah, so far it's been like 4 p.m. Central, which, by the way, I looked this up because we have a listener in New Zealand, is 9 a.m. New Zealand time.
Oh, that's so nice.
It wasn't hard to tell that this A-minus list singer, solo, and in a group did not want to be at the Met Gala, but his actress wife insisted, and since they each have secrets neither of them want revealed, he decided to go with it. It was not hard to tell that this A-minus list singer, solo, and in a group did not want to be at the Met Gala, but his actress wife insisted, and since they both have secrets neither want revealed, he went with it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Dawn's shaking her head.
Who is it?
Talk it out, you two.
Well, we have a nickname for them together as a couple.
We do.
Yes.
So it's a publicationship?
It is, but it turned into a true-mance.
Aw.
Because they have children.
The only name that that popped into my head was Nick Jonas and
Priyanka Chopra.
But I didn't see them, so they were there.
Popped up in both your heads. They were there. And
He didn't look happy.
Well,
she looked gorgeous.
I will say that he's in New York because Jamie just saw him in his Broadway show. He's got a Broadway show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nick's in a Broadway show right now. I don't remember which one it is.
And he said it was great. He said it was like he did a wonderful job.
Cool.
Yeah. But it makes sense then. He's in New York.
The last
She's in
5
New York,
years.
I think.
The last 5 years is what he is in.
Oh. I thought you were saying he was like been in New York. I'm like,
what?
great.
No.
Really? They rehearsed for 5 years? That's a long time to pay somebody for rehearsal.
So let me fill in the blind item here. Nick Jonas was absolutely not, by the way, he's a solo A-minus lister, was also in this little group known as the Joe Bros. They're still doing their thing. Did not want to be at the Met Gala, but his actress wife, Priyanka Chopra, did, and they have secrets neither want revealed, so he went along with it. Yeah, we're getting the good old body language experts who we always get coming out of the woodwork here around this time when there's an event and a gala, saying that he looked very uninterested the entire night.
I want to come back in my next life as, and this is hyperbole, I really don't, universe, please, want to come back as a body language expert. Because I just feel like
you could do it in this
is
life.
the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to do it right now because I just feel like my heart's not in it. But I feel like if you're looking for something to be in life, maybe you need a career change.
You could learn to read lips.
Yeah, you could do that too. Well, that's a far more fun experience. The body language thing, I think it's like, aren't we all body language experts if you sort of pay attention?
Yeah.
Reading lips, I think you have to be a little more creative because you actually have to get words that fit into the time period of their lips moving.
But
whereas body language,
really
you could just be, my interpretation is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'm just sensing some anxiety.
It's like, because a photographer could have been screaming at them right before the picture was taken and they made a poop face.
Made a poop face.
All right, speaking of making a poop face and screaming at people, let's move on to this next one. The pressure of being an industry plant has officially gotten to this one named A-minus list musician who had a big last year as she was seen abusing staff. Sound familiar? No, don't get her confused with this other one named plant who was A-list 5 years ago before tumbling. She was also at the Met Gala, but is doing her best to keep a clean image. The pressure of being an industry plant has gotten to this one named A-minus list musician who had a big last year as she was seen abusing her staff. Sound familiar? Well, don't get her confused with this other one named industry plant who was A-list about 5 years ago before tumbling. She was also at the Met Gala, but is doing her best to clean up that image. So we got two individuals here.
Where this is going.
I know.
Are they models?
No.
Are they singers?
Musicians.
Yeah,
I think.
so this
musicians.
is A-minus list musician.
Woman?
Yeah, so like an industry plant. So
yeah,
we used to say, I can't think of her name right now, but I'm hoping it's not Doechii. Ugh.
It is.
That's the first
What about
part.
Lord? What about
the pressure? So I'll give you what you got so far. The pressure of being an industry plant has gotten to Doechii as she was seen abusing her staff at the Met Gala. Sound familiar? Well, don't get it confused with this other one named industry plant who was A-list about 5 years ago before tumbling. She was also at the Met Gala, but is doing her best to clean up her image. Another one named musician who was A-list about 5 years ago.
Rosalia?
5 years ago.
I'd say A+ list 5 years ago.
Oh.
Before falling.
Before falling.
Well, tumbling, falling, whatever you want to say.
Okay, so it's not like I tumble for you. Okay,
yeah, it was Boy George.
Not Boy George.
I was trying. Maybe someone had a tumble song again.
They
redid it.
They fell down the stairs at the Met Gala.
Oh God, wouldn't that be embarrassing?
Let's see.
Someone had a big year 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
A+ list then before falling down the lists.
Ooh,
pop star
due to controversy and maybe pressure of abusing staff.
Pressure of abusing staff.
Lizzo?
Oh, Lizzo. Yes.
According to the blind items, again, don't shoot the messenger here, but according to the blind items, Doechii is feeling the pressure of being an industry plant, and it was on full display at the Met Gala as she was seen abusing her staff. If that sounds familiar, don't get her confused with, of course, Lizzo, who they're also claiming was an industry plant, who's doing her best to clean up her image as she was at the Met Gala as well.
You know, anybody who has like this sort of like meteoric rise all of a sudden gets accused of being an industry plant. I'm just going after the blinds in this particular case because I see that with Billie Eilish. You saw that with Sabrina Carpenter. Like anybody who sort of seemed to be above their station in terms of popularity, like shoots to the highest highs, gets accused of this. So I'm beyond a little skeptical.
Oh, about Doechii?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not an industry plant, but it's clear that's who the blinds think.
I don't like it.
And it's
I don't
always
like it either.
It's always a fun conspiracy too, because you call everybody who has a meteoric rise an industry plant, and then when they fail, because guess what, 80% of them probably will at some point.
Yeah.
Then you're like, see,
then you look like
told you this whole time.
Yeah.
So there you go. I will say,
not that there really aren't people. So So again, that's where you do a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It's not to say that the industry probably doesn't have a very heavy hand in,
Oh, for sure.
who gets more success. But
yes,
I tend to think it's
marketable.
Yeah. Who's marketable?
far more about business, probably.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, record labels pick who's going to be famous, and then within their web of,
But those people have to
artists,
be talented, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I think in the case of Doechii, most certainly.
Yeah, she's talented for sure. And so is Lizzo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done. Let's have one final blind here before we leave the Met Gala.
I was like, is it done already?
Nope, just at the Met Gala.
Okay.
The date of this foreign-born A-list singer could barely walk after the event. It was actually quite embarrassing.
Oh,
Is it why? Could they barely
somebody
walk?
like the Kentucky Derby on a horse?
Yeah.
No, again, this
Did
is
they
the
have
Met
some
Gala.
fun?
The date of this foreign-born
What
A-list
were they doing
singer.
at the Met Gala?
That's
They
what I'm
can't walk.
saying.
Given the blinds we've had about this individual, I'm guessing this is drinking related
Okay.
or substance abuse related.
Okay. Machine Gun Kelly.
No.
Okay. Who did you describe?
Date of a foreign-born A-list singer.
Date of a foreign-born A-list singer.
Foreign-born A-list singer. Did we see the foreign-born A-list singer on the red carpet?
And her date. They were arm in arm.
Okay.
And we've discussed them relatively
arm
recently.
in arm.
We've discussed them recently.
Foreign-born A-list singers.
So is the
they're both
foreign-born
A-list
A-list singer?
Well, no, he's she's a foreign-born A-list singer.
Oh, okay.
And
so
her
the
date,
man.
yes.
Okay.
Her date could barely walk after the event. He was apparently so hammered.
Okay.
Ugh. Foreign-born A-list singer, female. It's not Dua Lipa.
Yeah, it is.
And Callum Turner?
Yep. According to the blind items, Callum Turner was
Really?
almost embarrassing how, again, this is just following the blind item narrative that we've had that he has an extreme drinking problem. And I don't know why the blind items are so adamant of bringing us this reminder every single time, but guy apparently likes to party.
Well, I kind of feel like he's probably not the only one at the Met Gala, but
True.
Yeah.
But remember, that's a true man's.
that is a true man.
That's
It
what the
seems
blind items
like.
told us earlier this week.
Mm-hmm. And he looked great in his outfit. She looked fabulous as well. She's beautiful.
Yeah. She's an attractive human being.
Mm-hmm.
And she
He's fine.
can dance.
Mm-hmm.
That'll if you
Dance the
don't
night
think
away.
she's beautiful now, watch her video
Mm.
and you'll go, whoa.
Yes, you will. Let's move on and do another blind item. There you got that one. We'll wrap up our time at the Met Gala and head elsewhere. This barely there celebrity turned reality star wants you to know that she's a victim and you can't make fun of her anymore. So stop it. Seriously, stop it. Also buy her memoir because no one else is.
I know who this is.
This barely there celebrity turned reality star wants you to know that she's a victim and you can't make fun of her anymore. So stop it. Seriously, stop it. And also go buy her memoir because nobody else is.
Barely there reality star. All right,
Barely
Dawn,
there
give us a
first
hint.
turned
Okay.
reality star.
I read an article about this, and Hilaria Baldwin is claiming that the reason why she gets confused with her language is because she has ADHD and dyslexia. And so it's really hard for her to process, and people making fun of her accent switching back and forth. That is why. And so shame on you for saying she's a faker.
Oh, that's an interesting move.
It is.
Huh.
It is.
Okay, well.
But it is a move you would pull out if your memoir dropped yesterday and nobody was buying it.
Oh, here we go. Trying to give people a reason to read it. I did not know that she had a memoir coming out.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But that's
Maybe why that
odd
article
because
just
we
dropped.
live in the weeds. And
Yeah.
if even those of us who live in the weeds or the swamp of blinds, it seems more like you're doing something wrong. So good luck to her.
They also pointed out they picked out from their own reporting, whatever article this was, that at one point she did say she was born in Spain, but she was actually born in Boston, which we know that.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
her family didn't move to Spain until she was 27.
I didn't know it was that late.
And so they fully moved over there. They went back and forth before, but it's not like she grew up in Spain.
Can I also point out that normally I don't care what a person's accent is. Like I would never even, I'd be like, well, it's interesting. I love actually people's voices. And so
Sure.
I might notice like, oh, she seems to kind of have like a sort of whatever. It is only because she is in so much denial about that part of her persona that it makes you want to sort of like point it out, right? Like we are all aware of what you're doing and that's fine. But like denying that it's actually happening is, I think, what rubs some people the wrong way.
Yeah. And that she was trying to market herself as a Spanish woman. You know, I mean, she was, about with a cookbook and cooking. And, it's just like you're trying to profit off of this thing that isn't real.
Yeah.
And we found out. So, but you're never going to admit it.
But then she doubles down, triples down. So it just makes it that much more annoying, I think.
I'm pretty sure Alec didn't know. I think he just didn't know.
Well, I don't think Alec cares.
And, she was 28 when she met him and had her first child at 29.
He loves her. He
loves her. They both lie. It's fine.
Children together. Well, and that's also a nice distraction from his like anger management problems.
True. All right. Well, I guess we don't need to read the book. We have
I want to find out what else is in that book. I don't want to listen to it, although now I do. So I'm going to have to go. So here's pro tip. Did you know on Spotify, you can listen to audiobooks?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to not download it, but play a little bit of it. We're going to have to do this off the air because I wonder what her accent is reading her own audiobook.
It'll go back and forth.
Manual Not Included is the name of her memoir.
All right. Fabulous. We're on it. Yep.
So another blind item. Here's a rolling through them today. You guys are crushing it. Let's see how this one goes. This permanent A-list actor who sometimes directs still is not admitting all the things that he did with the permanent A-list singer. And that's probably smart, considering he was in his late 20s and she was maybe of legal age. Maybe.
Yeah.
According to this permanent A-list actor who sometimes directs is still not admitting all the things that he did with the permanent A-list singer. That's probably smart, considering he was in his late 20s and she was maybe of legal age. Maybe.
Yeah. This is definitely Ben Affleck and Britney Spears.
There you go.
And I had forgotten, and Dawn reminded me earlier that she was possibly not 18 when this happened.
She posted a picture from a party where they were together, and she goes, "Oh my God, I made out with Ben Affleck this night." And people went back to when that party was, and they're like, he was like 28 and you were 17.
Yeah, the math wasn't mathing on that one.
No.
But he's recently been opening up a little bit about Britney Spears and his thoughts about everything she went through and things like that. And blind item is maybe just saying Ben Affleck is still not admitting to all the things that happened between him and Britney Spears, which is probably smart because, again, like Dawn just said, he was in his late 20s. She was maybe 18.
Yeah.
It was close.
I also question like the timing of talking about this now because I feel like he has talked about this before. And I think, isn't that what led to her making the comment about how she made out with him? Because that was a social media post that she did. And I was trying to go back and remember, did she mention that because he had said something about her, in the media? And she was sort of like, because she'll do that every once in a while. She'll like comment on people that mention her.
I think she just posted a picture because she likes
But
to
I'm
go
like-
blast from the past.
But I'm wondering, like, I feel like he has said something about her before that
think
gave
he-
it context.
Okay, yeah.
But I could be wrong. And at the end of the day, it's just curious to me why he's talking about her now, especially when
why did
there's
that
such a
come up?
risk to like,
Yeah, don't open that up again. You should be moving on.
especially when you don't want people to remember that it was awkward.
We'll see if more comes of this or not.
Especially doing that when she's on a boat in Mexico. Not cool.
Right.
Is she still in
She's
Mexico?
having her best dancing right now. She's doing her cat cow humpy humpy. She's doing her booby squeeze butterfly. Those are the names.
The booby
Of
squeeze,
the-
Booby squeeze butterfly.
You know what I mean? She's butterflying her legs and doing a booby squeeze at the same time.
And lots of rapid arm
Rapidly.
movements.
Yeah.
We'll speak.
It's very much like the guy on the dance floor in about 1997.
Yes, the energy ball.
Yeah. In the corner.
Yeah. Then he's
Or on
throwing
a
the
box. Where I was, there was a box.
ball. A
and
box.
that guy
Where
would be
were
on a box.
you?
At the saloon on Hennepin Avenue in downtown Minneapolis.
You love it.
Keep rolling on here. You guys are absolutely crushing it today. Let's see if this one will give you any stumbles or not. We told you last year, speaking of maybe timeline issues with how the age of Brittany in that last one, we told you last year about timeline issues around this DIY TV star who is working on her 5th last name in nearly as many years. Well, now the ex of the current boyfriend is confirming it. Since entering TV, she truly can't go a day without being attached to someone. We told you last year about the timeline issues for this DIY TV star who is working on her 5th last name in as many years. Well, now the ex of the current boyfriend is confirming it. She's since entering TV, she really can't go a day without being attached to somebody.
Well, it's Christina Hack.
Yeah. Who's her current boyfriend, though? I
Don't
can't keep track.
know.
She is, that's a really good question.
Because Aunt Anstead is an
Oh, that's
ex,
100 years ago.
and
That was-
Renee Zellweger is with him.
Yeah.
But it's
But
not
that's
that.
like 5 guys ago.
Yeah.
That is like
Or I should say 4 relationships ago.
well, that was actually, yeah.
Five Guys, great place for burgers.
5 guys that
Just
have
wanna
great
say,
burgers
if you want to
and
sponsor this podcast,
and-
you can't.
divorce history for Christina Hack. They should sponsor. Okay, I'm going to stop before I get us in trouble.
We brought her name up last year. Again, HGTV star Christina Hack, star of Flip and Flop and Christina on the Coast and Christina in the Country and basically any other show they can tie the name Christina to. She is
successful.
She's working on her 5th last name in nearly as many years. Well, now the ex of her current boyfriend is confirming what we told you last year, and that is that since entering TV, she can't go a day without being attached to somebody. Her ex that is speaking out, Josh Hall, I think she
Hall.
just finalized her divorce, and I mean like in the last 2 days. It was just finalized with Josh Hall. His ex is claiming that there was maybe some overlap between when Josh and her were together and when Christina jumped in
Well, that
the
doesn't
mix.
surprise
Yeah,
me.
I remember seeing her pushing back on the timeline because I did see, I think that was like a Daily Mail story about there being some question about the timeline. So that makes sense.
She's currently with Christopher LaRocca. And actually, I take that back. Christopher LaRocca, who she's currently with, it was his ex-girlfriend who is saying that the two
Oh.
of them got together when they were still dating.
Christina LaRocca.
No,
That's
yes, that's going to be her next.
her next name, which I like.
Because I remember, of course, she was with Aunt Instead, she also was what was her?
Tariq El Moussa.
El Moussa. There you go.
Well, and they're
Christina
still,
El Moussa.
I do marvel at her ability to like maintain that relationship though, because they had a very tumultuous relationship, right? And they're still on TV together.
Mhm.
I mean, in a different capacity, but they're like
They
work
did
together
work together
and stuff, right?
after it was really bad for a while where they were really
Yeah.
at each other's throats.
How are they doing again?
I was just looking at his HGTV history to see what he's been up to lately. It's just funny. They
He has a
basically
new Christina.
Well, they split off, and now she's got like Christine in the country and, flipping Christina or whatever it's called now.
Flipping
That's
Christina.
what they did.
And now,
They flipped and flopped her.
And then he's got Tariq and Henry, the big I do. Tariq and Flip's side, the Flippin' El Musas. Like, they basically just took them, split them, and then said, okay, you have these 5 shows, you have these 5 shows, and don't talk to each other anymore.
Kind of genius, though.
It works.
I mean, if you can have that business relationship to get stuff done and see past your petty grievances for dollar signs.
I mean,
good on
I
you.
will say the show was really Flip and Flop was so good when they were fighting on the show. Like, it was the whole show. It's like, we should take this wall down. No. And then they would just go at it.
The Flippin' El Musas might be the best name I've heard of
Flippin' El
a TV
Musas.
show in a long time.
It kind of sounds like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon or something.
Love it. All
The
right.
Flying Melendez.
Yes. You guys absolutely dominated today. This was maybe your best
You
performance
made it
I've
that
ever
much
seen.
easier, Mike. That's why.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
These are standard blind items all day long, and you crushed them, and I'm proud of both of you.
Wow.
That's right.
There was a guy at my gym yesterday who said,
I
I'm
remember
proud of
you from
you.
the saloon.
no, trust.
I was on that box.
He was like, I'm proud of you. And I was like, that
He
made
said,
me
I'm
think of
proud
Mike.
of you.
Yeah.
What did you
nice.
do? That was great.
It
Box
was just
squats.
it was just a general workout. Everybody after they finished, like, great job.
And he
So
said,
it
"I'm
wasn't
proud of
necessarily
you."
directed at just me. I'm just saying, like, when I heard like proud of you, I was like, oh, it's kind of like Mike is here.
Well, Bradley, this one is just for you. I am proud of you. And Dawn, I am proud of you as well.
Look, he's proud of us. And you should be proud of him because he is the best deliverer of blind items we know and keeps us in the blinds Monday through Friday on the radio on MyTalk. Wherever you get podcasts, download, like, and subscribe and leave a review, please and thank you. We're also on the YouTube. Tell all your friends about it, like, subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell for notifications so you can watch us premium or premiere live at
Blinded by the Item.
Ah!
Blinded by the item.